Hello everyone, welcome back to Avid Shiksha. এতিয়া আমি আজিৰ দিনটোৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ নিউজ আৰ্টিকেলসমূহ আলোচনা কৰিম। আজি আলোচনা কৰিবলৈ লোৱা টপিকসমূহ হৈছে AI Impact Summit 2026, the UAE-India Corridor, a strategic convergence, launch vehicle debris with ISRO logo found on Maldives. ঠিক আছে, এই তিনিওটা গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ টপিকৰ ওপৰত আজি আমি আলোচনা কৰিম। প্ৰথম টপিকটো হৈছে AI Impact Summit 2026. AI Impact Summit 2026 begins today. Modi set to inaugurate India AI Expo. So ইয়াৰ ভিতৰলৈ যদি আমি অলপ যাওঁ, আমি চাম যে Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the India AI Impact Expo. ঠিক আছে, India AI Impact Expo inaugurate কৰিছে Prime Minister Narendra Modiয়ে at Bharat Mandapam. So Bharat Mandapam New Delhi আছে, Bharat Mandapam ক'ত আছে? New Delhi আছে. So New Delhi থকা Bharat Mandapamত কি কৰিছে? Narendra Modiয়ে, Prime Minister Narendra Modi India AI Impact Expo 2026 inaugurate কৰিছে. This marks a milestone as the first global AI summit hosted in the global south. আমি যদি global southত চাওঁ, এইটোৱে প্ৰথমটো কি হয়? Global AI Summit. ঠিক আছে, এইটো প্ৰথমটো Global AI Summit that is hosted in Global South. ঠিক আছে, First Global AI Summit hosted in Global South. ঠিক আছে, এইটো মনত ৰাখিব। So core যদি framework চাওঁ আমি, যদি Sutras and Chakras চাওঁ, then unlike Western summits that focus heavily on existential risk, কি কৈছে? Unlike the Western summits that focus heavily on what? Existential risk, India's framework is development oriented. So unlike the Western summits that focus heavily on existential risks, India's framework is what? Is development oriented. 3 sutras were there. The foundation principles jodi saw, 3 sutras asile 7 chakras, sorry, 3 sutras jodi saw, prothom to hoise people, planets and progress. So the theme buliu kobo paru ami, theme asile people, planets and progress. So AI for human dignity and inclusion. AI kihor karone? AI for human dignity and inclusion. Planets, AI for sustainability and climate resilience. So tinita sutras ase, those are people, planets and progress. So AI for human dignity and inclusion, and also for AI for sustainability and climate resilience. Progress jodi saw, AI for equitable economic growth. So AI for what? Equitable economic growth. So 3 sutras were people, planet and progress. So 7 chakras were there, action area jot teki action koribo, kaam koribo: human capital, social inclusion, safe trusted AI, scientific progress, democratizing resources, resilience, and AI for social good. So a hatuta জাগাত বা এই হাতুটা এৰিয়াত কি কৰিব? Action plan হব, বা এই হাতটা এৰিয়াত বেছিকৈ ফোকাস কৰি পিনি কাম কৰা যাব। So these were the sutras and chakras. Strategic significance saw ami, voice of the global south. India is moving the locus of AI discourse from technology dominance US China to development impact. ঠিক আছে, Viksit Bharat 2047. AI is treated as a decisive lever to bridge growth gaps. So it is treated as what? AI is treated as what? Decisive lever for what? To bridge growth gaps. Growth gaps khini bridge koribo karone it is treated as decisive lever in healthcare, agriculture and education. Jot neki growth gaps ami dekhiboloi paisu in healthcare, agriculture and education, in those fields or those areas, AI is treated as decisive lever. India AI mission supported by 10,372 crore budget, focusing on building sovereign AI, indigenous models like Bharatjan and massive GPU capacity. So যদি আমি strategic significance চাওঁ, এই তিনিওটা দিশত বা এই তিনিওটা ক্ষেত্ৰত খুব এটা ইম্পৰ্টেন্স বা খুব এটা significance আমি দেখিবলৈ পাওঁ। Then key governance shift, innovation over restraint. India's new AI governance guidelines prioritize responsible innovation over rigid premature regulation. যোনবিলাক rigid premature regulation আছিলে, তাতকৈ কি কৰিছে যোনটো আমাৰ ইণ্ডিয়াৰ নতুন AI গভৰ্নেন্স গাইডলাইনছ আছে তাতে প্ৰায়ৰিটাইজ কৰা হৈছে ৰেছপন্সিবল ইনোভেশ্যন অভাৰ ৰিজিড প্ৰিমেচাৰ ৰেগুলেশ্যন. Then technological approach focus on tackling immediate harms like deep fakes. So ইয়াতে আমি বহুত কাম কৰা দেখিবলৈ পাইছো কেইদিনমান আগতো আমি এইটো ওপৰত ডিছকাছ কৰিছিলো হয়নে ফ'কাছ অন টেকলিং ইমিডিয়েট হাৰ্মছ বিলাক কেনেধৰণে টেকল কৰিব সেইটো বেছিকৈ ফ'কাছ কৰা হৈছে লাইক ডিপ ফেক্স এণ্ড ডিজিটেল এৰেষ্ট থ্ৰু কণ্টেণ্ট অথেণ্টিকেশ্যন এণ্ড এজাইল sector specific rules via RBI and TRI. So এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আমি গভৰ্নেন্স কেনেকৈ ধৰণে শিফ্ট হৈছে AI ক্ষেত্ৰত বা AI থ্ৰু দি এইখিনিও আমি দেখিবলৈ পাইছো. সো এইটো আছিলে ফাৰ্ষ্ট আমাৰ টপিকটোৰ ওপৰত আমাৰ দ্বিতীয় টপিকটো হৈছে UAE India corridor strategic convergence. ঠিক আছে UAE India corridor is sparking growth story. So কেনেধৰণে স্পাৰ্কিং গ্ৰোথ ষ্টৰি হৈছে UAE India corridor অৰ্থাৎ তাৰ আমাৰ ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপটো ইণ্ডিয়া আৰু UAE লগত যোনটো ৰিলেশ্যনশ্বিপ আছে how it is working as a how it is like a growth story or sparking growth story. So context যদি আমি অলপ চাওঁ and evolution টো যদি চাওঁ এই টাইলছটোৰ the relationship has transitioned from a buyer seller model প্ৰথমতে buyer seller model আছিলে from that buyer seller model focused on oil and labor. Earlier it was focused only on oil and labor and to a comprehensive strategic partnership. So how it shifted, how it transitioned from a buyer seller model to a comprehensive strategic partnership. SEPA 2022 কেইদিনমান আগত আমি ডিসকাস কৰিছিলো হয় না Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. The Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement was a watershed moment. The watershed moment is eliminating tariffs of 90% of the trade. So comprehensive SEPA that is signed in 2022, it eliminated tariffs on 90% of the trade. So it was a watershed moment for India as well as UAE. The $100 billion milestone that we saw, the target for 2030 was achieved in financial year 2024-25, 5 years ahead of the schedule. যদি আমি চাওঁ 5 জুন 2030 লৈকে আমাৰ টাৰ্গেট আছিল achieve কৰাৰ ট্ৰেডাৰ with UAE হেতু আমি দেখিবলৈ পাওঁ যে 2024-25 তে হেখিনি বস্তু achieve হৈ গৈছে 5 years ahead of the schedule. Jinto time of schedule kora hoisle tare 5 years agote hetu bostu ami achieve korisu. New ambition in January 2026, a new target of $200 billion by 2032 was set, signaling deep institutional integration. And recently amar January hoi goise tate ami eta notun new target loisu which is of $200 billion by 2032. So আমি এইবিলাকত যদি চাওঁ কেনেধৰণে এভলভ হৈ গৈ আছে এইখিনি সময়লৈকে from starting from being a buyer seller model or a buyer seller partner focus exclusively focus on oil and labor and to a comprehensive strategic partner কেনেকে বনিলো তাৰ ফলত আমাৰ কি কি হৈছে কেনেকা ধৰণৰ ডেভেলপমেন্ট হৈছে those things we just so ঠিক আছে strategic and geopolitical significance. Third, market expansion. Initiatives like Bharat Mart in Dubai, initiative Bharat Mart apnaloke hunisa Dubai jontu hoy, and Bharat Africa Setu aim to use the UAE as a re-export hub for Indian MSME to reach Africa, Eurasia and West Asia. So junbilak amar initiatives ase like Bharat Mart and Bharat Africa Setu এইবিলাক ইউজ কৰি পিনি UAE as a re-export hub হিচাপে আমি কৰিব বিচাৰিছো যে ইউজ কৰিব বিচাৰিছো for Indian MSME to reach Africa আমাৰ MSME বিলাক আফ্ৰিকাত পাবলৈ Eurasia and West Asia পাবৰ কাৰণে digital sovereignty যদি চাওঁ the proposal for digital data embassies and interlinking payments systems challenges Western-centric financial and data architecture. Amar junbilak proposals for digital and data embassies and interlinking payment system UPS system or junto amar proposals ase for interlinking that challenges to challenge korise Western-centric financial and data architecture. Then next one is on the AI Impact Summit, February 2026. Hosting this in New Delhi emphasizes a human-centric AI. ঠিক আছে, আমি অলপ আগত ফাৰ্ষ্ট টপিকটোত পঢ়িলো model contrasting with the high competition models on the US and China. And Delhi Declaration 2026, part of a wider realignment where India and Arab nations are coordinating on security. India and Arab nations are coordinating in what? On security, counter-terrorism, maritime security, adit cooperate korise, and political stability in Middle East. Ekhini fieldoto ami cooperate kori asu Arab nations or logor recently into Delhi Declaration hol. ঠিক আছে, tar show di. Challenges to consider. While the growth is remarkable, candidates should note trade deficit. India still faces a deficit due to energy imports. While growth is remarkable, আমি যদিও growth remarkably আমি দেখিবলৈ পাইছো, candidates should note আমি এই কিছুমান বস্তু নোট কৰিব লাগিব কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আমাৰ challenges হৈ আছে বা কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ challenges আগলৈ হ'ব পাৰে. Trade deficit যদি চাও, India still faces a deficit due to energy import. Due to energy import, India is still facing what? Trade deficit. Diversifying export beyond traditional gems and textiles is crucial. Traditional junbilak ami export kori asu, it is necessary to diversifying export to other traditional gems and textiles is crucial. ঠিক আছে, beyond traditional gems and textiles is crucial. The regional instability যদি আছে চাও, geopolitical tensions in West Asia, Red Sea, Israel, Gaza, এইখিনি জায়গাত খুব আমাৰ কি হৈছে geopolitical tension হৈ আছে, can disrupt physical connectivity like India Middle East economic corridor, India Middle East Europe economic corridor, India Middle East Europe economic corridor. So আমাৰ যোনটো IMEC corridor EC বনি আছে, India Middle East Europe economic corridor, হেতু ডিসরাপ্ট হ'ব পাৰে, হেতু আমাৰ যোনটো আমাৰ যদি এই আমাৰ কৰিডৰটো বনি যায় তেতিয়া আমাৰ ইণ্ডিয়াৰ কাৰণে ট্ৰেডত খুব এটা সুবিধা হ'ব, কিন্তু এইটো বনাৰ কাৰণে কি হ'ব পাৰে, খুব এটা ডিসরাপশন হ'ব পাৰে ডিউ টু জিঅ'পলিটিক্যাল টেনশন ইন ৱেষ্ট এছিয়া, ইন ৰেড সি এৰিয়া, ইজৰাইল, গাজা, এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ যোনবিলাক চলি আছে জিঅ'পলিটিক্যাল টেনশন, তাৰ কাৰণে এইখিনিটো ডিসরাপশন হ'ব পাৰে. Implementation gaps. Converting $20 billion plus in investment pledges into on-ground projects requires easing regulatory hurdles in India. So, the India-UAE relationship serves as a template for South-South cooperation. It serves as a what? Template for South-South cooperation. For India, the UAE is the gateway to the West for the UAE. For the UAE, India is the definitive growth engine. Amar India the definitive growth engine for UAE of the century. ঠিক আছে? So for India, UAE is gateway to the West hobo. Etur karone, ঠিক আছে? So our third topic is a launch vehicle debris with ISRO logo found on Maldives. So Maldives ISRO logo thoka aru India korosile ISRO logo thoka aru national emblem thoka launch vehicle ki hoise dekha paise ba paise found on Maldives. ঠিক আছে? So a large fragment of payloads fairing PLF, the protective nose cone of a rocket, was discovered on an uninhabited island near El Kunahandu, Maldives. The debris features the ISRO logo and the Indian national emblem. Based on the markings of the recent launch schedule, experts identify it as part of the LVM-3 M6 Bluebirds Block 2 mission launched on December 19, 2025. So recently, eta Indian ISRO logo and Indian emblem thoka eta launch vehicle paise in an island in Maldives. Aro ki korise expert identifying it as part of the expert hokole identify korise that it is part of the LVM-3 MC Bluebird Block 2 mission launched on December 19, 2025. So technical details, the LV-M3 and MC mission case here. Launch vehicle LV-M3, launch vehicle Mark 3, full form to India's heaviest rocket. India's heaviest rocket, it is a 3-stage vehicle, solid, liquid and cryogenic. Solid, liquids and cryogenic ase yeta 3-stage hoy. The mission a dedicated commercial mission by New Space India Limited. New Space India Limited a dedicated commercial mission hoy. Payload launched the Bluebird Block 2 satellite. Bluebird Block 2 satellite for US-based AST Space Mobile. At 6,100 kg, it is the heaviest payload ever launched from Indian soil. And hokolotko heaviest payload asle ever launched from Indian soil, that is at 6,100 kg asile. Function of the debris, the payload fairing protects satellite from atmospheric pressure. Payload to ki kore that protects satellite from atmospheric pressure and heating during initial ascent. Once the rocket reaches the vacuum of space, the rocket reaches the vacuum space, the fairing is discarded and falls back towards Earth, typically into the ocean. International relation, liability and treaties. 1967 Outer Space Treaty in 1967. India retains ownership of the debris. Maldives must notify India. ठीक है हे debris बिला की करबो ownership of the India retains the ownership of the debris. So Maldives must notify India. 1968 Rescue Agreement requires countries to return space object to the launching authority. Launching authority junbilak vehicle pabo teolukor tate return teolukor tate poribo ba pabo teoluke hebila ki koribo lagibo return koribo lagibo to the launching authority upon request. 1972 Liability Convention. India would be absolutely liable if the debris had caused damage to life or property. Jodi he debris te jikono dhoronor ki kore cause damage to life or property, jikono dhoronor damage kore to life or property, then India would be absolutely liable. Neighborhood First Policy. Handling the recovery via the Colombo Security Conclave or SAGAR, Security and Growth for All India Region, strengthens maritime cooperation. So এইখিনি বস্তু অলপ লায়াবিলিটি কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কোনে লায়াবিলিটি চাব লাগিব বা কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ট্ৰিটিজ হৈছিলে এটো ৰিলেটেড, তো এইখিনি অলপমান আমি চাই ললো। সো এইকিটাই আছিল আজিৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ আৰ্টিকেল সমূহ যোনবিলাক আজিৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ নিউজ পেপাৰ কেইখনত পাবলিছ হৈছিল। সো কাইলৈ দিনটোৰ গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ আৰ্টিকেল সমূহ আলোচনা কৰিম। আজিলৈ ইমানেই আছিল। থ্যাংক ইউ।